These are the 3 darkest SpongeBob episodes. Keep watching to discover just how unexpectedly unsettling this show can be. Doing time, the 5th episode of Season 3 opens with a chaotic police chase during SpongeBob's driving test with Mrs. Puff. As a result, she is arrested and sent to jail. While Doing Time isn't the scariest episode, it certainly has its eerie moments, especially for younger viewers. Once in jail, Mrs. Puff realizes she's finally free from dealing with SpongeBob, which makes her actually enjoy her time behind bars.
No more SpongeBob! No more SpongeBob!
Meanwhile, SpongeBob enlists Patrick to help him break Mrs. Puff out of jail, and as the episode progresses, we witness Mrs. Puff slowly losing her grip on reality, with the prison guards believing she's experiencing a full-blown mental breakdown. The episode is packed with unsettling visuals. SpongeBob appearing in a bowl of chili, SpongeBob and Patrick disguising themselves as police officers, and the real officers having their faces ripped off. However, the creepiest moment comes when Mrs. Puff is placed in solitary confinement. Thinking she's finally safe, she quickly realizes she isn't alone. SpongeBob appears all over the room, his sinister laughter echoing as an ominous score plays in the background. Doing Time delves into Mrs. Puff's psychological unraveling in a way that can send chills down your spine. In the end, there's no clear explanation for what happened. Was it all just a dream, or was something far more disturbing at play? And before we go to the next one, please subscribe to my channel and like this video to show your support. Procrastination. Assigned to write a paper on what not to do at a stoplight, SpongeBob soon finds himself struggling with a severe case of writer's block. As the title implies, this leads to all sorts of procrastination. He ends up doing everything from feeding Gary to cleaning his house and even attempting to start a conversation with the mailman, anything to avoid working on his essay. But things take a bizarre turn when the TV news calls him out for his lack of progress. We're treated to an unsettling scene where the news anchor literally steps out of the screen. However, things truly go off the rails when the power cuts out.
Hey, SpongeBob over here. Come on, take a seat. Put your feet up and relax.
This creepy chair sequence used to give me chills as a kid. Not long after, SpongeBob finds himself sprinting down the hallway, only to shrink to a tiny size at his desk. Everything about this sequence feels like a fever dream. His pants run away, his clock makes ominous comments, and to make matters worse, his house bursts into flames. The most unsettling moment comes when his pineapple home starts speaking to him.
Why did you set me on fire, SpongeBob? Why didn't you just write your essay?
In the end, it turns out that it was all just a dream, but the episode serves as a relatable look at procrastination. The way SpongeBob's procrastination comes to haunt him here is particularly spooky. So if you're still in high school, maybe write that paper before your house starts talking to you. And the darkest episode is Nasty Patty. The episode starts at the Krusty Krab, where a health inspector arrives for an inspection. Mr. Krabs, sensing the inspector's presence from his office, rushes to warn SpongeBob that if the inspector finds even the smallest issue, the Krusty Krab will be shut down. They must provide perfect service. The inspector asks for one of everything on the menu. Normally, Mr. Krabs wouldn't give out free food, but he agrees this time because the future of the restaurant is at stake. They serve him everything on the menu until only one item is left. A plain Krabby Patty. Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob briefly celebrate, believing they've passed the inspection. However, a breaking news report changes everything. The reporter reveals that a fake health inspector has been scamming restaurants for free food. Mr. Krabs, furious, assumes that the inspector at the Krusty Krab is the imposter. To get back at him, SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs prepare a nasty patty, filling it with all sorts of disgusting ingredients. SpongeBob delivers the nasty patty, but just as the inspector is about to take a bite, a fly flies into his mouth and starts suffocating him. Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob, hiding behind the grill, mistakenly think the inspector's struggle is due to the patty, and they laugh at his distress. The inspector tries to stumble out of the Krusty Krab, but slips and hits his head. Meanwhile, another news report reveals that the fake inspector has been caught, and the one at the Krusty Krab was the real one. Mr. Krabs becomes anxious, fearing the restaurant will fail the inspection. To his horror, he later discovers that the inspector has died. Mr. Krabs manipulates SpongeBob into believing he's responsible for the inspector's death. He convinces him that they must bury the body before anyone finds out. They take the body to a secluded area outside Bikini Bottom, where SpongeBob, visibly disturbed, helps Mr. Krabs bury the inspector. Once they finish, Mr. Krabs insists SpongeBob keep quiet about what happened.
No one, and I mean no one, can ever know about this.
Just as they're about to leave, the police arrive. They jokingly say they're going to arrest them and offer to give them a ride back to the Krusty Krab. As it starts to rain, the dirt covering the body washes away, causing the inspector's corpse to slide downhill. SpongeBob, shaken, places the shovel in the trunk. Mr. Krabs tells him to stay calm, but when the body slides up to them, Mr. Krabs panics. He tells SpongeBob to hide the body in the trunk while he distracts the officers. When they reach the Krusty Krab, SpongeBob can't get in through the back door, so he enters through the front and hides the body in the freezer. As the police prepare to leave, one officer realizes she doesn't have ice for her drink and goes to the back to get some. Mr. Krabs tries to stop her, but she insists. When she opens the freezer, however, the body is gone. Just then, the health inspector reappears. The officers, thinking he's a zombie, hit him in the head, but he's neither a zombie nor dead. He was just unconscious. The episode ends. This episode stands out as one of the darkest in SpongeBob's history. The most unsettling moment is when Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob laugh while the inspector is suffocating right in front of them. Mr. Krabs shows his true selfish nature, manipulating SpongeBob into helping him dispose of the body, with no concern for the consequences, only for his own safety. Meanwhile, SpongeBob, who's essentially a child, is left to deal with the aftermath, and Mr. Krabs shows no remorse for his actions.